Okay, this is take two. I originally recorded this yesterday, but my mind was kind of scattered, so that the video was kind of scattered. Basically, yesterday was a really odd day for me. My paycheck didn't go as far as I was hoping it would over the weekend. Paying, I had to get an oil change, plus my auto renewal on my smartphone was due, and just other things. Even with coupons, I do use coupons, and even then, it's still, the paycheck still doesn't go as far as I hope it would. And so I was kind of bummed about that, and on top of that, I get these text messages from Subway saying you have an online coupon, you can get a 6-inch for $4, and I tried bringing it up and my phone just would not cooperate. So I was kind of bummed about that, and bummed about my expenses over the weekend. And then I came home and checked my mail, and I had a mesothelioma check, which was a pretty sizable amount, so I was really happy about that. I promptly went back out and deposited it, and but basically I just wanted to try and share my thoughts, such as they are, about Jodie Whittaker becoming the 13th Doctor. That was the big topic of discussion online on Sundays. Number one was Jodie Whittaker as the 13th Doctor, and number two, George Romero passed away. I didn't think Night of the Living Dead was as scary as everybody made it out to be, but it was still good, and I still enjoyed it, and I enjoyed the other movies of his that I saw. I saw Dawn of the Dead and Creepshow, and so he will be missed. And yes, Martin Landau will be missed too. I've never really watched Space 1999, but I knew him from Ed Wood in his Academy Award performance as Bela Lugosi, so he will be missed too. And my condolences to his daughter Juliet. But basically, the main gist of it was I wanted to talk about Jodie Whittaker becoming the 13th Doctor, and how there's no middle ground. You're either all for it or you're dead set against it. I'm not dead set against it. I just really question the necessity of it. Are they doing this because this is something that they really think is going to help the show, or is this just a play for the politically correct crowd? I'm more leaning towards it's a play for the politically correct crowd. My two main problems with it are these. Number one, there are already female characters out there in the Doctor Who universe itself that could very easily qualify as female doctors. I mean, you've got River Song. She's kind of a female doctor, and also there is this character in the audio dramas. Her name is Iris Wildthyme, that I really don't know all that much about. People are like, well, you're a Doctor Who fan, aren't you up on all this stuff? No, I'm really not. But from what I know about her, she's played by Katie Manning, who played Jo Grant in the Jon Pertwee era. She was one of my favorite companions. I always liked her. But now she plays this character named Iris Wildthyme. Apparently she's a female Time Lord, a Time Lady, and she flies around in a TARDIS that looks like a double-decker bus, and she has her own little series of audio adventures, which I suppose I should try and check out sometime. I do try to be selective of what I of what I get, because I don't want to end up blowing a whole bunch of money, and then I think, if I get this and I don't like it, won't I feel stupid? So I do try to be careful out there. And also, there is another spin-off series of audio dramas with one of the Doctor's former companions, Bernice Summerfield. She's also an archaeologist, like River Song. They gave her own series of adventures, so I guess she could be like a female Doctor-type character. Even Sarah Jane Smith had her own TV series with K9, which I've never seen, but apparently is very well thought of. And also even Clara and, am I saying her name right, Ashildr? They ended up in their own TARDIS, which was stuck in the shape of a diner, and so now they're flying around out there having their own adventures. Why don't we see some of their adventures? You know, there are all these characters that could pretty much qualify as a female Doctor. I don't understand the necessity of them having to co-opt or appropriate the character of the Doctor himself, just because, well, we need a female Doctor. I would like to go see Alex Kingston next month at Wizard World Chicago and pose for a picture with her, with my police box journal, and get her to sign the picture. And if she ever asks me, so what do you think of the new female Doctor? I'm going to say, I thought that was you. I thought you were supposed to be the female Doctor. Also, the second problem I have with it is that it for me personally, it changes the dynamic of the show and my response to the character of the Doctor. I remember back when I first watched him. It was Tom Baker. This was back in the early 80s when he used to be on Sunday nights on Channel 11 in Chicago. I started just as he began his search for the key to time with the first Romana, Mary Tom, or Tam, whichever. And I watched him and I thought, this was a guy, this was a hero that I felt like I could really, he really appealed to me. Because he was intelligent. He didn't rely on his fists, or he didn't have any guns, or he didn't go around beating the snot out of people. But he was intelligent, and he was eccentric. And that really appealed to me. I like off-the-wall characters. I mean, here's this guy, he wears this big coat with this big long scarf, and he flies around in a phone booth that's bigger on the inside, and he has this robot dog that he hangs out with, and he just pops up on whatever planet he goes to, and he gets involved in all these crazy adventures, and that just really appealed to me. He wasn't the typical hero, the typical science fiction hero. He wasn't some stalwart starship captain or some pirate con man or space warrior or anything like that. I liked that about him. He was just so unconventional, and that appealed to me, and he has affected my life. I admit it. He's not my idol. I don't idolize the Doctor. He is a hero of mine, but he does not consume my life, but he has had his impact on it. I have collected a lot of his sonic screwdrivers, which I do use when I go to conventions from time to time, or if I'm dressing up like him. I will pop whichever one's appropriate in my coat pocket. You can see him there. There's David Tennant. There's the sonic sunglasses, which I've worn a couple of times. There's the 12th screwdriver, and there's the War Doctor screwdriver, and of course I wear, if I can focus on it, yeah, There's Matt Smith's green coat, and you can't see it very well, but behind it is David Tennant's coat. And there, if I get it, yeah, see, there's the fez I picked up at the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. This was before I even saw Matt Smith's first episode, but I knew all about the fez, and I walked into Zonko's Joke Shop. They had this tall, thin top hat, and I was going to get that, and then I looked, and they had one fez left hanging on the wall, and I thought, well, you know what they say about fezzes, right? So I snagged that one up, and I wore it around for the rest of the day at the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, and I went over to the other side for Halloween Horror Nights, and a lot of the monsters seemed to like my fez, and I wore it with this Dracula costume shirt. They don't allow you to wear costumes in for Halloween Horror Nights, but I wore like a shirt that looked like Dracula's tuxedo with the medallion and the sash and everything, and apparently it went pretty well with the fez. Jack the Clown's girlfriend Chance, she was there, and she came running up to me. She says, "Oh, I like the hat! I want it! I want it! I want it!" And I just looked at her and said, "They got them over at Zonko's. Get them while they last." But yeah, I do like the Doctor as a character, and his influence has sort of entered into my life. But now that the Doctor is a woman, it kind of changes things for me a little bit. Maybe not. I'm not saying that's really a bad thing, but it's just the dynamic is different, and my reaction to her will be different because she is a woman. I'm sorry. I hope this doesn't offend anyone or send anyone screaming to the nearest safe space, but yes, I do find women attractive. So now it's not like it's more, it's that element has sort of come in. It will come into play. I don't know what she's going to be like as an incarnation of the Doctor. I will give her a try. I know there's guys out there, oh, Doctor Who is ruined for me. I'll never watch Doctor Who again. You know, I will at least give her a try. I may like her, but for entirely different reasons. I haven't even watched this whole last season with Peter Capaldi. I watched like bits and pieces of the first episode, and I finally made it to the Blue Box Cafe in Elgin. They had like a little viewing party for the last episode of the season, and I finally made it up to that, and I shot some footage there which I need to edit and upload. I haven't even edited and uploaded the footage from last Christmas when I went to California for my Christmas vacation. We went to Disneyland. I really need to get on the ball here. I just have things going on, and I get distracted, and my mind is scattered all over the place at times, and I will get to it. And I'm sure you'll all find out about it, so watch this space. But now that she is a woman, I think that is going to have an effect on how I view her. I do like eccentric. I do like people that aren't afraid to be eccentric and quirky, and I like women that aren't afraid to be eccentric and quirky. That is an appeal to me. And you might be thinking, ooh, he wants the snog her. I'd be satisfied with a cuddle and a slow dance, maybe even a tickle fight if she felt up to it. I would have different feelings towards her now that she's a woman than when I did when the Doctor was a man. I mean, like, he's the guy I can get behind and identify with. But now that she's a woman, that changes things a bit, because there is a possible the attraction involved. I know there are a lot of ladies out there that are attracted to the Doctors, these recent Doctors, and they sort of view him as like this manic pixie dream guy. He takes these women off on these adventures in the universe and shows them that there's more to life than just their dull as dishwater boyfriends. And I actually wondered about that. You know, is that going to change things? I mean, I actually wrote a piece. I was being smart alecky about it in my journal. You know, what would a female doctor be like? You know, and I flipped the whole thing. I didn't just flip her gender, but I flipped the whole shows. I flipped the companions' genders. Instead of Rose Tyler, there'd be Ross Tyler, and Martha Jones would become Marty Jones, and Donna Noble would be Donald Noble. Oi, watch it, Space Lady. And Amy Pond would be Andy Pond, and Clara Oswald would be Clark Oswald. And so would that change things? Would she become the manic pixie dream girl to these guys stuck in the mundane life here on Earth, and show that there's more to life than just being a utility and being enthralled to their shrieking shrew girlfriends? And I said no, the feminists would never go for it. And I was gonna make a video of it, reading this piece that I had written and playing it against images of SJWs freaking out and having conniption fits all over the place. I might still do it. You never know. But is that it? That's the thing? Is she going to be a manic pixie dream girl now? And would the female demographic go along with it? And there is another aspect to this that I've been noticing since Sunday, and this has given me cause for concern. It's also the reaction of those who support the doctor becoming a woman towards those who don't or have reservations. They're being told that if you don't agree with or fully on board with the idea of a doctor being a woman, then you are a misogynist, and you're just being a crybaby, and you're an evil meanie, and don't let the door hit you on the way out. They're actually telling fans who, for whatever reason, you don't like the idea that the doctor's a woman, you know, don't let the door hit you on the way out. You were never a true Doctor Who fan to begin with. Are they walking out? Are they running out, or are they being driven out? Are we being run off just because we're not totally on board? You know, I go to this store in Lombard where I got my coats from, and where I get my sonic screwdrivers from and whatnot. Are they not going to do business? Are they going to no longer do business with anyone who doesn't support the doctor as a woman? Is anybody, you know, are people going to get turned away from Wizard World and C2E2? If Alex Kingston asks somebody, well, do you like the new doctor as a woman, and they say they don't, is she gonna throw them out? Is that what it's going to come to? I sure hope not. What would the doctor herself do? I am willing to give Jodie Whittaker a chance. I'm not turning in my fan membership. I'm not throwing away my sonic screwdrivers. I'm sure as heck not throwing away my David Tennant and Matt Smith coats, not after the money I paid for them. And there are worse things in this world to be upset about than the doctor becoming a woman. The sun will keep shining, the earth will keep spinning, the rivers will not turn to blood, the sky will not become fire, and the ancient ones will still be asleep. If the ancient ones were real. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. I'm still looking forward to the Christmas special. They brought back the guy who played the first Doctor in the TV movie, where they showed the beginnings of Doctor Who. The guy who played Filch the Caretaker in the Harry Potter movies, he's back as the first Doctor, and I like that. I like that when they acknowledge the original series. Most of the fans nowadays, most of the new fans, they're all about the new series, and they just don't give a fart in a high wind about the old series. And I try to tell them about, you know, Tom Baker, you know, back when he was the Doctor, and I've actually had people take a look at pictures of Tom Baker, the Fourth Doctor, and tell me he looks like a child molester. Is that what a child molester is supposed to look like? Ridiculous. They don't want anything to do with the classic series. It's too old. It's too corny. Too hokey. So it does do me good when I see the new series acknowledge the past. Because this thing's been around for like over 50 years. And it's got a history behind it. It really does. And I just wish that the old series got more respect. I remember I got the officially licensed River Song Journal, which left a little something to be desired. I mean, it was you know, it had the TARDIS cover papered onto it, and it had the journal it was a lined journal, which I don't really use. I'm more of a non-lined journal person myself. But I was prepared to use it, and then I looked and they came out with a journal of the second Doctor's 500-year diary, and I snatched that one up. It wasn't as well made. I mean, for an officially this is supposed to be an officially licensed BBC product. It wasn't very well put together. The pages kept falling out, which on one sense I was actually okay with, because I would tape them back in and it gave it sort of a used, dog-eared look. Sort of a DIY project, I guess. And I was about to get the deluxe River Song Journal. They only had a couple left at C2E2, and it was like, I think it was like $47, and I was debating, you know, did I really want to get it, or did I want to get the Police Box Journal from Poetic Earth, which was made of actual leather and was more well put together. And then the folks at Poetic Earth said, well, we got ours on sale for $30, and I'm like, sold. I'm pretty happy with it, but I digress. I will give Jodie Whittaker a chance. I just won't have the same response to her that I have had towards the other Doctors, because she's a woman, and I'm not being sexist or chauvinistic, but it does have a different element to it now. For me personally, she may not work for me personally. She may work fine for other fans of the show, but she may not work for me. I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. I'd like to think this has been a little more coherent. I've been a little more coherent this time around than I was last night, because my mind was all over the place, and so my video was all over the place. I was just rambling about this and that, and I asked my coworker, who is a geek like myself, and you know, we mesh well together. I asked her, I said, should I go with the less coherent video I made last night, or record a more coherent video, slightly less coherent video tonight? She said, go with the slightly less coherent, hopefully more coherent, and that's what I've done. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.